Looking, I think, at the residential market, it's quite different, the default picture for the four countries. So we have high regulation in the markets, and not enough institutional market for residential investments on the one hand. But on the other hand, we see that the current demographic development is driving new projects across the main centers. So we are now really trying to make some new developments across the cities, because we believe that in future the demand will concentrate on these centers, and we are now expecting also to invest in retail properties on a whole, and maybe just given the fact that the growth in the Nordics in the coming years will be driven by domestic demand. That means that households will increase their expenditures, and that will, in my opinion, drive rental growth in the future. And this is why I think, besides logistics, I think the residential market and retail are offering really good investment opportunities. And perhaps some words about the segregation in the Nordics markets. And there is, of course, I think, or there are many cities or many hotspots distributed across the countries, but the main question is about the size. So if we're looking from an international perspective and trying to invest 100 million into the Nordics, we really have to focus on the main markets, as we can't invest on different hotspots. You can't. There is not enough liquidity to invest from an outside perspective into on a really segregated strategy.
But since I've been there, there's always been this talk about a bubble. And if I look at the price of a flat in London versus the price of a flat in Stockholm, and I look at the massive amount of immigration that's coming into these different countries for all sorts of different reasons. The big companies that I just mentioned before are employing. You've got a lot of movement from the countryside in. And then if you take into account, you think about London as the West End, where you can't have a lot of new development in the West End. You've got heritage style buildings. That's the same in Copenhagen. That's the same in Stockholm. So you don't have a massive oversupply. There's a real shortage of supply. And I think I would hope that in the local press there's always talk about a residential bubble, but I'm not so sure.